Hello everyone. Thanks for attending today's success story talk. Today we're going to zoom in on a particularly interesting Odoo implementation of mine, and that's the case of E'log automation. We're going to start with CEO Sasha, who's going to tell us a bit more about the company. Then we're going to transition towards Eric and tell more about the financial aspects of the company and zoom in on why Odoo was such a success story for them and how it's also a good learning opportunity and a very nice project for us as well to implement. To start, I'm going to share the Q&A pad with you, so if you have any questions throughout the entire presentation, feel free to note them there, and at the end we'll pick, like, depending on the time, 2 to 3 questions for us to go through. Sasha, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I am the CEO and co-founder of E'log Automation, and I'm here to give a brief introduction about my company and also about how we got to this great partnership with Odoo. So, E'log Automation, what do we do? It rhymes with Odoo. So we basically we build, design, and maintain fully automated warehouses, such as a warehouse which you can see in the background here. It's various concepts basically of fully automated warehouses. We focus on small to medium-sized projects. On the background here on the screen, you can see that there are a variety of different solutions which we offer to the customers, but it goes from self-driving forklift trucks to fully automated robotized systems, high bay warehouses for pallet storage, everything you can think of. All the moving parts in a warehouse, that's what we do. But it all starts obviously with the design, and a very important part is the maintenance, but I'll get to that later on. So, yeah. Basically, a short timeline, because it's very short. We've only existed for 2.5 years, and we were founded in May of 2022. I founded it with 3 colleagues, ex-colleagues of mine, basically. I worked with all of them, and it was a great start because there are 2 operational directors in the company, and they're also co-founders. And basically what we did is we started out, the 2 of us, in a very small meeting room. And ultimately, fast forward 2.5 years, we're 60 colleagues, nearly 60 colleagues. And we had the luck, basically, to get the trust of some of these customers who trusted a small starting company to automate their warehouse. But ultimately, indeed, on this slide, it's service. The maintenance of the systems which we design and we build is super crucial. If you have good technicians, that's already the absolute long-term reputation for your company depends on the long-term, on the maintenance quality that these guys offer. That's crucial for your business continuity. So I invested first in good technicians, and we got the trust of some customers to really go forward with the maintenance and then build their projects. But to build the projects, you need very good project execution engineers. We were able to find quite some of them, approximately 25 so far. And all of these guys, basically, what they do is they do the engineering, both mechanically, software-wise, electrically, to make sure that the entire project which we do is fully in-house, and we do it in a fully independent way. So we do not we're not an ambassador of a specific brand, but we go and look on the market, what is the best solution for the customer, and then we integrate, we buy in the equipment, and these guys from project execution, they deliver. So, furthermore, we have 2 locations in Belgium, obviously to avoid traffic. On the right side of Antwerp in Herentals, our headquarters, and then we have in Temse, on the left side of Antwerp, we have our second branch. Approximately 50-50 of the occupation is there. And we opened a facility, an entity actually, in the Netherlands, where we have currently, we're in Rotterdam, but we expect really to move forward with the Netherlands, let's say in 2025, to go towards 15, 20 colleagues in that entity. So, my greatest passion, basically, to create this company was actually to be able to fully fulfill what I wanted to do with a company, and that is to be a different kind of employer. I want to, when hiring people and finding the right talent, it's super difficult, but also to maintain and to make sure you keep them in your company is crucial. So that's one of my major pillars for this company, is to make sure that we attract the best in class and that we are a different kind of employer, meaning that we give a lot of trust, a lot of freedom to our colleagues, and make sure that they feel that they can be innovative, that they can really challenge themselves and the colleagues on a daily basis. And this is really, in my opinion, what makes this company unique and different from all the rest, is that everybody here gets, or the company gets, so much freedom and a possibility to innovate. And other than that, I have some big dreams, so I would like to become not only, I don't want to be the biggest, but the most professional integrator in my field. As you can see on the picture, it's obviously a bit of a bigger warehouse, which we're building there, but we focus mainly on the small to medium-sized, and we want to be innovative. And that's exactly what you see here. And basically, I definitely want to also focus on the fact that this vision, which we have, it has to be, it's a work in progress, and it has to be really continuously maintained. And that's my daily role in the company. And obviously, I also have a very big team now. Yeah. And also there, we had some automation challenges, the business automation challenges, which I will hand over to my dear friend and CFO, Erik.
Okay, thank you, Sasha. Going through the numbers quickly. As Sasha said, we were founded in 22, so the first year we had a turnover of 70,000 euro with a big loss. In the second year we had a turnover of 4.9 million euro with a small profit. This year the budget was 19.6, and at the end, and thanks to Odoo that we already know the numbers on 30th of September, we had a turnover of 13.1 million euros. So just to show you how quickly the company is growing. And in that case, at a certain moment in the beginning, we worked like all small companies with several different programs like Team Leader, Exact Online. At that moment, as Sasha said, we were following our biggest customer, and we tried to do the administration in a CRM called Ultimo, which was the program of our customer. And our idea was we're going to use that system because then we can communicate with the customer. But we spent a lot of time and money in that, and after 6 months, we didn't have any workable environment. So at that moment, which was at the end of 23, we decided to look around, and we came with Odoo. And the fact that Odoo made the presentation within a week, that we found really that they understood our company, which is based on different kinds of departments, let us make the decision to quickly go ahead with Odoo. And then we started very quickly. So as I said, in December we made a decision, and on 17th of March we went live. And the big advantage in that, we worked with OneSpock, with Gino, which followed us from day one, and quickly made that progress. And maybe you can explain a little bit how the work went on at that way.
Yeah, of course. So as Eric said, I received the project around January of the beginning of this year. I explored E'log as a company. I got to know them, and I instantly saw that they've been using a lot of different tools, a lot of stuff in different systems. There is no connectivity between them, and it's also quite expensive to manage all these tools. So a good decision to go with Odoo, because you can eliminate all those systems. You can go ahead and use one central system where each department can have their business needs met and everyone can be in the same place. And that's also how we approached the project. When I initially met the company, my first question, and the first question should always be, is what is the priority? What is the biggest pain point that you're currently facing, and what does keep you up at night? What is on your mind? What do you want to get solved as quickly as possible? And we focus on those things. We really create a priority in such a project. We divide it into phases, and we start with the phase where the client will feel the most value. And I'll tell that a bit differently. So we focus on the phase that we can make go live on budget, on time, and where the biggest pain points are. So I think for us that was really CRM and sales. That's the aspects we focused on, because those were being handled, but not in the most efficient way, I would say. And that's also the area where once you went live, you had the biggest return on investment. You fell from that, yeah.
Yeah, true. So as I said, in March we started with the CRM and the sales. Our first invoice were made middle of March. That process went very smoothly, because in that case we also had to work with the purchase orders, sales orders, be connected. So really working with it as a CRM, which was not the case before. And going on in that trajectory, we found out that anytime we found out new things, and these things were very quickly addressed by Gino. And the way we worked and still working is that we have 2 meetings during the week with different people. We had in the start we had 1 SPOC, and as Gino said, we have now a steering committee, which is a higher word in just saying that we have a lot of good people that work together. And in that meeting we bring up the problems, and within, I say, few days, a week, these are solved. And maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that one.
Yeah, so some of the stuff I've already told you in my initial messages a few seconds ago, and what Eric has also said already. Those are really core aspects of what we call the Odoo implementation methodology. Some of you are probably quite familiar with it, but just Google it, you'll find an entire book of it, and I think somewhere around the expo there are also some physical ones, so definitely have a read. But it focuses on some of the core aspects that make our project implementation so successful. So I started with the phasing, ensuring we have a good timing, a budget, and that we can also meet and keep track of and work towards to reach. And then the second thing Eric has also told us, we have a very much an iterative, like a loop, feedback loop system. So we'll start with our basic list of requirements. We'll implement those. We'll have the key users use them. The key users will relay their feedback towards what we call the SPOC. Of course, when the project gets bigger, it's not only 1 SPOC anymore. Like initially, I was meeting weekly with the lovely Tanya here, a great SPOC of E'log, but it's quite quickly expanded towards a real steering committee. Everyone has their feedback points. Everyone can bring their case each meeting, and we can really work quite efficiently towards those. Like, if you're lucky and my workload is low, it will likely be done the same day that you told me about it. So that's a nice thing about Odoo. It's such a dynamic system. It allows for flexibility. And a core part of being able to go that quickly and that smooth is staying standard. So that's always something we really strive for. We want to have a company operate within how Odoo gives them the possibility to, because hundreds, thousands of customers are doing it that way. Why won't you be able to? And there is some real power in staying standards. We have 0 lines of code today, which is something I'm very proud of. It's a really big company. We didn't do any customization, so that really proves that a big company can do it. There are some synergies there, and it really allows you to go quickly. Like Eric said, we first met in January, and we went live with the first scope. So that's sales and CRM in March already. It's really quickly. And it also keeps the system quite easy. Like, you're going to have to help me on that, but initially it was quite a big amount of users, and we were able to do short 1 hour to 2 hour trainings with them at your location, and they understood the system because it made sense. It doesn't focus on unnecessary things. It focuses on what needs to happen for them. It allows the technical people to fill in their field service report, to log their timesheet hours, to record materials that need to be billed to the client, and it just made sense to them, and they were, I think, really quickly able to use the system effectively.
Yeah, correct. So when we start, we were with 33 people. At this moment, we are with 60 people. All these people were trained within the company in the things they had to do, and then of course some hiccups were there, but they were quickly addressed on that one. People are very easy. They love the system. All the people we work with, as Sasha said, has an experience of 10 years, but they like the system of Odoo because they can work quickly with it. They can give feedback, and the feedback will be addressed within a few days or weeks or whatever.
Hours sometimes.
Hours, correct. And there, I can tell you a small story that in May, when we started up the accounting, one of the issues was that we had to make a VAT return, and why we are working very late sometimes. The VAT return was ready on the 20th of the month, and I could not do the automatic download or upload to the system, and I sent a mail to Gino at 11 o'clock in the evening, and I get a response of 5 after 11 to say you have to do like this, and we just could make the VAT return on time. So that's the way we are working, and we are looking at Odoo and Gino as
That's
a
a
partner.
partnership. Yeah, it's a partnership.
That's a real partnership, which we like very much, and which we want to continue
I hope so.
in the future.
If I may, so also we have the experience of having worked with other, software providers, and to be honest, Odoo was far the better party to collaborate with. The feedback, the level of professionalism, and I want to use this platform a little bit to thank specifically Gino for his incredibly professional work. I think you deserve it, and I'm very happy that we got you, definitely.
Thanks for the trust.
So keep on having your other calendars free, and so this way you can focus on E'log. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to, but yeah, definitely this is a great project also because you guys, when you joined my pipeline, the company existed for some time, but it's still a company that has a flexibility to define how they want to do stuff, and I think that's a very powerful aspect to also focus on. We sometimes have customers, and we also need to talk about that, who want to go for Odoo, but it's not necessarily as good of a fit as this project. And a really big reason for that is sometimes they just want to replicate their old system, and that's not something Odoo is great for. You should really be open to do things in a way that realizes as most business value for your company as possible. You always need to be careful, is this something which realizes value for how I do things? And we were definitely able to do that with E'log, because you don't have defined systems yet. You're quite young. You can still decide we're going to do it that way. I mean, sometimes we also failed in deciding the correct way. I think definitely in accounting, we went really, really fast, and we're still nowadays doing some cleanup of that. We're still fine-tuning things, making sure things are done properly, that every one of the users is using it as we like, so it is a good working system. So we're definitely right now in that cleanup phase. We're really improving a lot of things right now. I think it's a bit of the 80-20 that you know of. Like 80% of the stuff, it's really easy, but that last 20%, it takes a really damn long time and a good group of people to realize. But we're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So that's the big advantage of Odoo, that, as I said, we can change very quickly. We have a very bright team, which we call, what you call the steering committee, which I think is a very good word for it. People there are working with Odoo, looking at it every moment of the day, make some changes into the system which can be done very quickly. It's not a classical system like in accounting that you have to go through a lot of things to do first before you see the result. So in that way it works very fast, and we can do very quickly our changes. The newest thing that we did, and you saw that, is that in the 1st of September we started in Holland with 5 people, but also a separate entity. So that means that Odoo also is supporting us with the accounting in Holland, which means that at the end of the year we need to make a consolidation. So you see, we go very quickly in that system, and therefore again Odoo and in particularly Gino is helping us, is supporting us in any way, so we can make these changes. So I think
Yeah, something that I want to pick up on from what you said is Odoo is very agile in that way. You have the ability to really scale your business. You start out with, I think initially we initially started with just 5 users just to get things up and running. We quite quickly scaled up to around 40, and now I think we're almost ready to go beyond the 60 we have right now. You're hiring like crazy, so it's very scalable. You just recently launched a new company, and it's as easy as just a few clicks to create a new company, have a lot of the existing setup there up and running, easy to use from day one. Of course, you need to do some customizations. Things are a bit different in the Netherlands. It's a different accounting, but it's really easy to get that stuff up and running. And also from a financial point of view, you don't need to sign up front for a big amount of users. You can just scale as you go and approach the project as it evolves, because probably day one you couldn't have imagined what it is become right now. I couldn't have either. So, and also with applications, you start just using a few things, but now you're also looking into, can we do HR related stuff? Can we do payroll stuff in Odoo? And it really evolves the project, and you really bring everything into one system and hopefully save more and more time over a period as the project grows.
Yeah, true. That is one of our next projects, is that we are working with Acerta as our social secretary, where we still fill in the data in their system. We want to have that through Odoo, so the people are now filling in their hours in 2 systems. We want to go to one. which is not easy because that's a tricky one with the Belgian legislation, social legislation. On top of that, we have also a quite big fleet in cars which we need to manage, which is done again at a separate level. We want to also include that within Odoo. So many steps that need to be made, but we are confident we can do that in the short future.
Okay, we have about 6 to 7 minutes left. I suggest we look at some of the questions of the audience. So definitely take the time to scan the QR code above on the screen, and any questions, as good as bad or they may be, ask away. I'm going to select a few. So the first one that I find really interesting here is, what was the biggest challenge when implementing Odoo in E'log automation? Maybe I'll start from my side and you can pick up on that. I think definitely sometimes we can be quick, but the accounting really had to go quickly, because it just made sense for accounting to be up and running really quickly, for us to be able to do VAT declarations in Odoo. And we also made the decision, which in hindsight was a lot of work, but it worked out, to include all the legacy data from January, February, March, April into the system up till the go live of accounting within Odoo, basically. And we definitely made some errors there in a way that people did not really have a way of working yet. We did not define some things, and that caused us to have a lot of cleanup work afterwards.
Correct. So the accounting was done very quickly. We start beginning of May, and the first VAT return was the April one. After we checked that everything that was in Odoo was also were the numbers that came off exact online. That was very quickly. And for the rest, the system is so easy that you can, when there are some differences, that you can address them very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think you answered it quite well. That's also how I felt about it. The second question here is, how do you cope with the big growth of E'log regarding recruitment, financial KPI, strategy? I think that's maybe one for Sasha as well.
Yeah, so basically, the recruitment was, the process is quite simple, in the sense that we hire very fast. So we really try to not look too much at how many degrees does somebody have. It's really about drive, motivation, how much do you want to put your shoulders under this E'log story. And we go through the entire explanation of, okay, we're a starting company. We cannot afford too many errors, because the name, the reputation of this company, it needs to be built up. And you can only do that with the right set of people. And so the traits that I specifically am looking for in a person is really that is drive, that is the willingness to go forward and to learn. And so what we do is we have the department manager, whether it's a service or maintenance or engineering, has a first discussion with that person. If he or she approves, then I have a discussion with that person. And actually, based on those two discussions, we have a feedback loop afterwards. And we decide whether or not we hire that person. It doesn't need to be huge processes, doesn't need to have some of these HR tests and whatnot. I mean, it's very difficult based on one or two interviews to hire a person, but you already should get some feedback and some sense of, okay, how is this person, how does this person consist, what drives and motivates this person, and based on that, we go ahead and we take the leap. But also, we don't just drop them in the E'log water and we try to make them swim. No, we have, obviously, internally, we make sure that the people are surrounded by knowledgeable, because that's the luck which we've had, is we were able to attract some knowledgeable people from the market. And obviously you can put some, let's say, less senior people you can attract as well, and then have them learn, and it obviously takes some time. I feel that as an employer, you have to give your employees the time to learn, and and it depends from function to function, or from age to age, and from person to person, how long one takes to learn the job. But generally, I feel that today we are handling it in the right way, because the people just like to work at the company, and that's basically what I want to be, is an employer where that attracts the people that want to work there, right? So that's the way I go about things, and we just take it step by step, day by day, and it's going well so far. So
some big steps ahead, I think, as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to talk a little bit about the strategy, so I couldn't have dreamt of being here so far, but at the same time, I would like to put everything into perspective, because keeping both feet on the ground and making sure that we don't think that we are there already, in the sense that financially we have to make sure that, because it's a very cash flow intensive business, so we have to make sure that we sell each and every project in a very professional way, not only in terms of the solution, because it can cost you a lot of money as well if you sell the wrong solution, but also cash flow wise, right? So each and every project we go about very intensively with a group of people. We have a 6 or even 8-eye principle to look over each and every calculation which we make. But, and that's the most important thing, is we give a lot of trust to the people, again, to make sure that they have the freedom to design their concepts in their own way, and that's also what attracts, what's being attracting to our customers, because they know that we are independent. And while being independent, it really opens so many doors. We're not going to specifically work with 1 or 2 brands. No, we are going to look at the market and see what is the best solution out there. We're going to buy that equipment and obviously do the programming ourselves. And we're just going to keep on doing that step by step, project per project. And obviously the focus next year is the Netherlands. Ideally, end of 2025, we are going to focus on France. And again, we start with small projects, doing maintenance left and right in a very professional way, and we see where we get.
Couldn't have said it better. We definitely have a lot of questions. We only have about 2 minutes left, so I'll just pick one and we'll go for that. But definitely me and Eric and maybe Sasha for a tiny bit. We'll stay around for a few minutes longer outside. So if you really have a pressing question, just approach us and ask away. But a very interesting one I still see here is, how do you make sure that everyone in the company is using Odoo as you want them to? How do you ensure that they follow the processes? And I think from my side, that was definitely something that came afterwards. After we went up and running, we only started to focus on that because we were starting to see the costs of having to fix a lot of stuff that it gets done wrong or not how we like to, or which isn't in line with our reporting. So I think now we're really focusing on that. We're really looking into how can we make the system dummy-proof in a way, and that's not a bad thing. It's just make the system make sense, restrict options which you don't need to have access to, and just have, I think that comes back to the culture, a team of people that want to do things the right way, and I want to do things in line with how the company can reach their goals.
Yeah, and going further on that, it is the management that really drives that, also in saying we have to do everything in Odoo. We do it ourselves in Odoo, we do all the input, and we help the people. Together with the steering team, we have a very strong team that is the big part of success next to you. But these people are so great and so flexible to help us, and that is triggering other people to help it in that way. And we do it on a nice way. We do it not in really implementing and say that they have to do it like this or no other way.
We're always open to change. The best way to improve your product is to listen to the people that are using it. And I think we can really sum it up as lead by example in a way. Just show them you work that way, show them why is it valuable, and then how does it make your job easier, and people will automatically follow. Just makes sense to them too. That was it. Thanks everyone for attending. It's really nice that you guys listened to our talk, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thanks Sasha, thanks Eric for coming out. And I am very excited for the future with E'log.
Thank
Me
you.
too. Yeah.
Have a nice day.